Hey guys, Mark Angelo here, making a video answering some of the questions from the video that I made yesterday. And I want to try to make this the norm besides the show is, and probably I'll add some tidbits on the show regarding this. I want to start interviewing trans people again, sharing your experience, letting your voices be heard, just like the original format of transition radio back in the day in 2012. There's a lot going on in the world. I will continue, though, bringing in a lot of the spirituality, because I'm the kind of person that believes that if you're going to present a problem, you need to also present a solution, not just the problem, because that really solves absolutely nothing, and it creates more anxiety and more depression. And God knows we have plenty of that in the world today, more so now than ever. So Emily Shelton, actually let me go back with Lucky June, who is the Lucky June has been following me for a while on Instagram and here on YouTube. And Lucky, congratulations, by the way, Lucky, on your bravery of coming out as I'm not sure if you identify as genderqueer or as a trans man, but either way, congratulations for coming forward, living your truth. And that is the most important thing that we can do in this world, is be truthful to ourselves, because after all, this is the vehicle that we operate while we're here on this planet, and we need to feel comfortable. But at the same time, we need to be safe while we're doing this, because there's, doing everything that we do to then look nice in a casket, that doesn't solve anything either. So we have to walk a very balanced line, and that is one of the things that I have learned, that in order to reach some form of happiness, you must have balance. You can't go on either extremes, and that has always been my problem. Very extreme type of individual. So anyway, so Lucky June asked the question, what are your thoughts on topical tea cream as opposed to injections? You think it's safer? Well, Lucky, anything that's synthetic, that is not created by your own body, comes with risks. This is why whenever you hear a commercial on television talking about any form of pharmaceutical, it comes with a list of risks. Now, there's a reason for that, and I could get very technical about it regarding the different types of proteins that your body creates and needs. And when you're introducing a said medication, it targets a specific protein in the body, but does not correlate with the others. And because it doesn't correlate with the other types of protein in your body, it will create side effects. Some of them mild, some of them very harsh. So in saying that, it doesn't matter the form that you're taking in your hormone, whether it's pill, injectables, creams, pellets. The side effects in the long run are going to be the same in the long-term use. My saying it is always get in and get out as soon as possible. So you're going to transition, you're going to take your hormones. I know there are people that believe that they have to be on hormones for the rest of their lives. There's many theories behind this, but if we look at, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, if we look at HRT replacement for women, they usually don't want you to be on them for more than 5 years. It's just a relief from the menopausal symptoms, hot flashes, and all sorts of different things, dry areas down below, and so forth and so on. So you really don't want to be on for long term, because anything long term will oversaturate the receptors in your body, which will lead to some sort of molecular complication, which in turn is spelled out as an imbalance. And what is disease? A lack of homeostasis, a lack of balance in your body. Now, please remember to always consult your doctor. I'm not your doctor. I'm not here to give anyone advice. I'm just sharing my knowledge and what I've learned through the years, and the research that I've done. So, the research that I've done shows me, and not only have I've been my own guinea pig, so that has also, taught me a lot. Long-term use of anything will lead to molecular changes in your body, which could lead to complications. Now, all we have to do is do the research, whether it's biological males that are on HRT because their testosterone levels went low because of the years. There's a lot of lawsuits out there regarding this. It has benefits, but with benefits also comes damages. So I mean, and I think, I would hope that everyone that embarks on this journey understands that there are risks to what we're doing. Whether you're going under the knife to get surgery, to alter your body, there are risks with that too. Just anesthesia alone could end up taking your life. So we've got to not go into this being naive and thinking that nothing's going to happen. We're playing Russian roulette. I mean, that's, you know, I hope that people could be truthful enough with themselves to understand this. So, Lucky, yes, there are side effects with that. As a matter of fact, then I put a link in yesterday's videos in the comment area. I believe that there's a lot more side effects, what I read, with the cream. I tried in the gel once, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it because number one, you're putting other people at risk. If anybody rubs against you, if you have a loved one or children or a girlfriend or whatever, you're actually giving them the dose of what you're taking, and it could create a lot of complications. And, you know, I could end up making a show just about the different complications on hormones, but that's not what this video is about, is answering questions. So yes, it's not safer. In the long run, it all pans out to be the same. So then, I get Liz. I didn't say Liz, thank you for writing. Liz is 52. Liz is a 52-year-old thinking about transitioning trans guy, but hasn't done it yet, and obviously, for obvious reasons, he already has high blood pressure, so he hasn't started on T. He wants to know what are the natural, let me actually read exactly what it says. Hi Mark, thanks for that information, it's been very helpful. I'm thinking of transitioning at the end of the year and starting T, but as I'm 52 and already have high BP, perhaps I should be looking at more natural ways instead. When you have time, can you send some information about the natural alternatives, or make videos, or make a video on it? Well, there have been many trans guys who have actually excuse me, transitioned naturally. I had a friend, I forgot his name now, he had a website years ago, and so many people have contacted me through the years, but he did start his transition naturally. There's a lot of over-the-counter testosterone boosters, things as DHEA. I take Sumaru, and I used to take Maca. The first time that I stopped taking, one of the couple of times that I stopped taking testosterone, Maca powder, it comes in form of pill form, or it comes in powder form. And just basically, I mean, presenting yourself as who you are. Cutting your hair the way that makes you feel comfortable, dressing the part, living your life as who you are. See, we've been privy to this modern, and I'm going to say privy because with every good comes harm, with all this modern surgeries and hormones and things that allow us to look the part more so. But how organic really is that? You are who you are. Doesn't matter what you do to yourself. You present, you walk life, you navigate life, being the person that you are. I'm me with beard, without beard, on hormones, without hormones. I've been me from the moment I walked out of my mother's womb, or got pushed out of my mother's womb. I was walking yet. So much so that from a very young age, they were all worried about me and my mannerisms and the way that I am, and the way that I present. You are who you are. Now, society is the one that needs to start getting with the program. You know, people want to put everybody in little stereotypical boxes. Little boys look like this, little girls look like that. You're supposed to do this if you're born with a phallus, and you're supposed to do this if you're born with the inner hole, you know? And it's all society. You know, we cater to society, we cater to what we see on television, or try to be what we see on television. And in the end, you know, these are only temporary vehicles that we walk in, that we live our lives in, and try to present to the world what the world wants to see, or what you think the world wants to see. Be you, and be happy, basically. Okay? This makes me happy. This right here, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been different. Being different meaning that I did not behave the stereotypical way that society wanted a little girl to behave. So when modern moved years forward, and modern life has dealt us with these abilities to change ourselves, then we've jumped at the chance, but not realizing that there's a price with it. You know, with every action, there's a reaction. For everything you put in your body, and it's not coming from your body in and of itself, there's going to be molecular changes, there's going to be DNA changes, protein changes, genetic changes, things that happen in your body. Your body reacts to its environment. That is what the big C is, you know, abnormal cells, cells gone rogue because of the things that we put in our bodies. So we're seeing more and more people getting the big C, more and more people dying of heart attacks, more and more people having problems. So we've got to be mindful what we put in our bodies. That goes not only for medication, but for food that you eat, the people that you surround yourselves with, the things that you watch on television, the things that you listen to, even your own thoughts. You know, that's one of the reasons that I really gear Transition Radio a lot to spirituality or empowerment, self-empowerment, because it's very important. I know it's helped me. When I do a lot of the reading and stuff like that, it's helped me when I do the spiritual work. Not religion, but doing the work, doing the spiritual work. That's what's going to get you there. Okay, and one more comment here, or one more question, actually. So, Emily Shelton. Emily would like to have more videos regarding trans women living in RVs. Sure, there's plenty of women, trans women that are living in RVs, and it's not really that much different to live in an RV than to live in a regular apartment or a house. I mean, this is my second RV. The first one, I had a 32-footer Class A, and this is a fifth wheel. It's a 25-foot fifth wheel. The only downside of living in an RV is the dumping of your bathroom. The dumping of the, number one, number two, that you have to do every week. But other than that, I mean, it's small. I've lived in studio apartments that were smaller than this, If you are single and you're a trans woman living in an RV, and if you're traveling around, obviously you have to be careful. Everyone should be careful, especially this day and age. There's really not a lot to talk about regarding RV full-time. There's a lot of things that can break down. You've got to make sure that you keep up the maintenance, like batteries, for instance. You have to make sure that it's got the water in it. We found that out the hard way, Lena and I, when we started smelling rotten eggs, and it was the water got depleted in the battery, and it killed the battery, so we had to get a new one. So now every couple of months you go out there, you check, make sure that it's filled to the level. Not too much, not too little. I've overfilled it, and it ends up like creating a mess, and it's got some sort of acid, not fun. Making sure that, I don't know, just stuff that you have to do in an RV, more so. But even an apartment, even a house, everything's got maintenance, I love it, I love living here, although we're probably in the future going to be looking into either a tiny home something that we don't have to do the toilet thing every week, or another just modular home like they have in this little mobile home park. There's like not really a lot to talk about experiences living in an RV. I mean, it's like, you know, kitchen small, you know, bedroom is small. I'm making the bed in the morning because the way the roof is, I have to always keep my back bent, so that's no fun. But you know, you find ways around it. You know, I'm the kind of person, I don't like to complain about things. Complaining doesn't solve anything. It only brings you down. But like I said, I love it. It's cozy, very cozy. Limited space for your refrigerator, because when you go shopping, you gotta always remember the real estate space that you have, so you can't overconsume. Which is good for me because I'm a minimalist and I don't like to overly buy. You know, it's like you don't need to have 5 brands of something in your refrigerator. You know. And if you want to change, every week you could get a different brand, try different things, you know, be minimalist, be compact, be humble, be grounded, you know. And I think this is what's happening nowadays, is taking us into that form of living. Do with less and be grateful with what you got. You know, instead of like wanting to buy 5 brands of things and having options, you know, sometimes, I mean, we've never used to have options, you know, in the beginning of time. You know, it's all this crazy consumerism, you know, which I'm very anti. So I will be making more videos regarding trans issues. I want to start interviewing people again. Anyone from the LGBTQ community that wants to come on the show, please send me an email to transitionradioshow@gmail.com. If you're an older trans guy or an older trans woman, I'm interested in your story. Let's let the youth know what life is really all about, the years of living as a trans person. You know, I think that a lot of people romanticize this, make it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world. And don't get me wrong, it's been an amazing experience. There's been good, there's been bad. Like anything, you know. But I think the older trans folks need to really share a little bit more. You know, what have you lost being a trans person? What have you had to, you know, adapt yourself to? You know, how does it feel when you're around people and they ask you questions? Like, for instance, yesterday we were at the pool, and Lena and I got asked by a couple that was there in the pool as well if we had any children, and my response right away was to say no, right? I mean, I'm not going to sit there and we're not going to go into the whole explanation. We don't walk around with a sign saying we're trans. We're pretty stealth in our everyday life. It's nobody's business. So you've got to, like, in an instant, be able to create a scenario. I hate to use the word lie, but create a scenario that's not going to oust you, that's not going to create problems. Because people like to be nosy. You know, they like to ask, what do you do for a living? Do you have any kids? It's like, what, you going to marry me? Or we're just talking casually here in the pool? You know? So, yeah, I want to hear, you know, I want to be able to interview you guys so you can share your experience, so the future generation of trans men and women could understand what they're getting themselves into. You know, I know that people just like to glamorize it, and it's great for the beginning when you're getting all your changes, but then when you start losing jobs, friends, and family, when you start having health issues from what you've done to yourself, I think that's important for people to know too. You know, we want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I think it's important for that conversation to be had honestly, that we could honestly be honest with ourselves and with each other. You know, I mean, I don't regret this one bit. You know, it's been one heck of a journey. It's allowed me to reach spiritual places that I would have never probably reached had I not done this. Yeah, it's had its ups and it's had its downs, but overall, I say that it balances itself out, and if I had to do it all over again, I would. I would. There are times when you feel no, you wouldn't, because you go through a lot of different emotions, and that's normal. Changing the way you feel, changing the way you think is normal. I'm sure there are mornings you wake up and you hate your life, and the morning you wake up and you love your life. But these are all programmings that are coming in from the time you're young, the way they teach you how to think. And as I said on Tuesday's show, we can't live in the past and we can't live in the future. We have to live in the now. So if you live in the now, you're going to stay positive, because there's nothing to compare anything to, there's nothing to reminisce about, and there's nothing to look forward to, because you're in the now. And the now is the safest place to be. Anyway, guys, I rambled long enough this morning. Thank you for listening, for watching. Please send me an email if you're interested. Also, when I'm on the show and I'm live, please chat. Call in. There's a number there if you're camera shy. Very interested in what you have to say. Let your voices be heard. Love you guys, but remember to always love yourselves too. Bye-bye.